Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and of course Pulsechain YouTube, streaming to 3 YouTube channels, over 10,000 subscribers. A big thank you to all your support, and you guys make this all possible. I hope you guys enjoying the daily Pulsechain content, and of course Hex.com. Don't forget that is awesome. And of course we're going to get into all the news. So really good news today, folks. Honestly, sets us up very good for the end of September. And of course, pretty much the beginning of October, and it's going to be amazing. So October looking potentially could be very good. It's going to be fun to see October play out. We're going to talk about all the positives, and of course, with the no government shutdown, that is good. A real nice surprise there. Remember, we were sitting at 90% chance of a shutdown, and yeah, at the last minute, they managed to pull it off. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how that benefited the Ethereum ETFs as well. In the SEC. So it was kind of a bit of a fake out at the end of the day. Obviously, that's a nice little thing to happen as well. So yeah, October building up pretty nicely. And of course, Pulsechain having some of its biggest protocols launching in October. The stars are aligning. And of course, we'll keep tabs on anything that might be on the downside, but mostly everything's lining up for the upside. So it's going to be exciting. We've got a poll in the chat at the moment, of course. How do you feel more bullish about Pulsechain than you did a month ago? So get in there. We've got yes, no, maybe, unsure. Get in the vote, folks. We'll check that out towards the end of the live stream. And I got that on Superman Crypto as well. So if you're on Superman Crypto, feel free to fill it out too. All right, let's get into the chats. We've got a few people here. And let me find the comments here. My studio is all rejigged, so let's do that. Who has jumped in the chat here? We've got Life Beneath, of course, always in with the alpha. How are you doing today? Pretty good. The weather's outside. I was a little bit mixed with a bit of rain, but it seems to be sunny now while I'm live streaming. So I'm looking to do my walk. Day 64. I took a day off yesterday. I think took a day off yesterday. But day 64 today will be my walk day. We've got Hex, EHEX, PLS, PLXX, Center for the 100%. They've had a nice rally on the news. So are looking good, and we're going to talk a lot about that. So we're going to talk about it in terms of the market prices, but also in the terms of what's happening with Famous, the GMX fork, and we're going to look at some of the analytics about some people's behavior with the margin trading or perpetual swaps. So we're going to check that out too. We've got Cosmic Jerry in the house there. Good to see Cosmic Jerry over there on Superman Crypto YouTube. Good to see you. We've got Sandy Beach in the house. Always wait for Sandy Beach's particular comment. Gentlemen, good morning all. Thought I was late, but just realized daylight savings kicked in. Yeah, tricky, eh? It got me the first time, right? New Zealand there, the first mover there on daylight savings. I guess you're in Australia there, so that probably happened now. We were 3 hours different to Australia. Now I guess we're back down to 2 hours again, only for a week, right? What else there? We've got a few other people in the house there. We've got Sandy Beach's health and fitness tweet. So definitely give Sandy a follow and share that around. Give it a lot of love and a lot of likes and leave comments. Sandy is really doing a great job there in the Pulsechain community around that. Now, I don't know, Sandy, were you on Maddie Allen's influencer list? You should hit him up about that. I'm not sure if you were or not. Let me know. I didn't go through the whole thing. Maybe you were on there. Probably were, but let me know. Yeah, definitely workout tweet above. Tomorrow is a rest day, says Sandy. Yeah, tomorrow is Sunday US time, right? So here in good old New Zealand, Australia, Pacific Islands, we are on Sunday already. It's the 1st of October, of course. We're in the new month as well, but it is 12:37 p.m. in the afternoon, and it is reasonably sunny outside. It looks like the rain has gone maybe. Wish me luck on that. Pretty cool. What else have we got? DJ and Hexkin, Superman, LFG. Absolutely. Let's go. And of course, Wookie, woohoo, Wookie is here, never fear. Who else has jumped in there? We've got a few more. Let's see. We've got Brennan in the house there. Morning, Superman and family. Looks like this will be the first green close for September in 6 years. Yeah, since 2017, the first close. You remember at the beginning of September, or even before last month, in August, quite a few influencers I know were talking about September being, a red, gloomy month, and they were, they were pretty much not going to be buying anything, but I know that they were towards the end of September, they were talking about starting to accumulate. So definitely that seems to have occurred as well. Charity as well. Hello, everybody. I thought I bought my first bag of fear today. I wish I felt better about it, Lots. It's Charity. Well done. I think you know, fiat is one of the blue chips out there, I think, and it's actually performing pretty well at the moment. You know, for an Aave fork, I think that's pretty good. So we will see. One thing you could do, Charity, is get a bit of a combo between the fiat. You on PHUX, for example, you can enter one of the pools and you'll have an index of those. So you could get fiat. We'll talk about that later on, but you can get fiat, PHUX, and famous all in one basket, as it were, and you have a bit of a portfolio diversification. That's kind of cool like that. Hex Force 1, hey Superman, let's go. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, let's definitely go, Hex Force 1. Yeah, I was very excited when I woke up this morning and saw some of the news coming out. I was just like, oh, thank goodness for that. That's really, really good. We got Crypto Tycoon. Hello, R8 family. Good to see you, CT. Welcome to the chat. We got Crypto Dan as well. Hey, everybody. Hope all is well. Yeah, I think everyone's doing pretty well there, Crypto Dan. And big shout out to you as a channel member as well there. We've got lots of channel members in the house there as well. If you're new to the channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe. Smash the subscribe button. Hit the like button on the way in. And, of course, hit the bell. That will just take a minute right now and just go beep like that. And give us a follow. If you're on Superman Crypto, if you're on Pulsechain YouTube or here on Hex Token channel, give us a follow as well. But more importantly, perhaps, is get into our Discord. The link is in the video description. I'm sure one of the moderators will post a link to the Discord. And, of course, join up, get involved. We've got 1,250 followers approximately. And, of course, become a member. It is a private Discord now, but it's a really, really cool place. And, yeah, get in there. 16 cents a day it is to join. So get in there, folks, as well. Archie's in the house. So, hey, Archie, good to see you. Hey, all good to see Archie. I'm not sure if there's been any TYRH game update or any TYZZ, but Archie's been providing a lot of alpha in our Discord about that. So if you like getting intel early, pretty much everybody in our Discord has been early on pretty much everything. So you want to be early, so it's a good place to be. What else? We've got Sandy Beach. Thank you all. Thank you to all the 3,400 followers. Well done, Sandy. So that's on X social platform. So well done to Sandy for that. 3,400 followers. We've got a couple of influencers in our Discord. Sandy Beach, Archie, to name two well-known ones. So big shout out. The more the merrier. Maybe Wookie too one day. If Wookie stops gaming. If Wookie stops gaming, maybe Wookie also will focus on his growing his social network. All right, we've got Lal in the house as well. Word up, you all. Good to see you, Lal. Welcome to the chat. We've got Scott Jackson as well. Good morning. Another glorious day. Well said, man. It is a very good day of news to wake up to. Really, really cool. That is the Hex Token Discord. If you're on Superman Crypto, Pulsechain YouTube, or Hex Token, get in there, folks. Join up. 16 cents a day, and you got the best community and the best information. I've gone through recently all the information and tidied it all up. So if you like to get all the project lists, we've got all that. If you got useful links to buying and selling and other cool links around Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex, of course, get in there. It's really cool. And, of course, if you want to chat with some of these influencers like Sandy Beach and that, it's a good place to do it. We've got audio chats and text chats as well. And, of course, we've got lots of people doing lots of different things in there. Gaming seems to be popular lately. Where we bide the time as we wait for, Pulsechain to play out. So very cool. All right, Sandy Beach says, the list is for YouTube. You're right, Sandy Beach. I forgot about that. My bad. Thanks for correcting me there. All right, shall we get into it, folks? Let's do it. Let us jump away and pull in the latest. Let me make sure I'm on the right page here. I'm going to show you something very interesting. You guys are going to love this. All right, so let us go to the first page. Bam. Watch out. Block your eyes. Blind your eyes because it might get a bit too much. It might be information overload. But ready? 3, 3, 2. You can't even see my fingers because of the screen, but 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Bam. That is, folks. Let me know in the chat what that is, folks. Just type it in the chat if you want. You can read the title, but let me know what that is. That is what we're going to be talking about. So let me just expand that over a little bit there so you can see. Can you see what that is? You know what that is? That is the US debt clock, of course, up the top there. And boy, oh boy, what is on the top left there? What's the top left? What is that? U.S. national debt. U.S. national debt. And how many numbers are in that? A lot of numbers. And that first one there, 33. You know what that is? That's 33 trillion US dollars. 33 trillion US dollars. So unbelievable amount of debt. Unbelievable amount of debt. So huge, huge, huge. And look at this. The debt per citizen in the United States, $98,669. Debt per taxpayer, $255,000 per taxpayer It's insane in the membrane, right? Insane in the membrane there. Now, here, this is what's even worse. This 33 trillion is being added to at the moment by this number here. Look at this number, 1.78 trillion a year. That is the deficit. That is the deficit at the moment, adding to this US national debt. It is insane. Sorry, that is insane, right? So we have spending at 2.1 trillion a year. Look at let's go from the red one here. We've got this 2.1 trillion spending. Let's go over to the revenue. The revenue is over here. US federal tax revenue, 4.3 trillion. So the deficit, the difference between the 6.2 and the 4.3 is this 1.9. The 1.9 here is the deficit here. Sorry, this 1.8 here is the deficit, and that is adding to the US national debt. It's insane in the membrane. And of course, if you're in the United States, you should be reasonably annoyed because this is a really bad situation. And of course, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So just one of the terrible things that's happening as well is that you see some of these revenue tickers actually going down. The income tax here. So this US federal tax revenue, 4.3 trillion. It's made up of income tax revenue, payroll tax revenue, and excise tax. And look at the income tax revenue is actually going down. It's going down. Yes, it is. So really, really bad there at the moment. Now, fortunately, payroll tax going up, but the main one here, the income tax, is based on your progressive tax, is going down, and it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary there. Look at the numbers going down, and you got to pay for this debt that's going over here, which is just going up, right? So we've got higher interest rates, just crazy, crazy, crazy. So you can see how terrible that is. Now let's have a look in context how bad this amount of debt is. In 1960, we had 52% in debt. 1980, 34.6% federal debt to the GDP. So this is your GDP, is your national income. All right. So 34%, it went down to 34% in the 1980s. In 2000, 20 years later, it was up at 56%. And now, 23 years later, it's up at 122% of GDP. That's of your national income. So it's insane. It's insane. So this is what people get so, crazy about, is that this debt is just going up and up and up. And of course, there's going to be a day of reckoning at some stage. At some stage, there'll be a day of reckoning. But at the moment, of course, they keep pushing the budget out, up, and up. So pretty crazy at the moment. So you can see that that's a big deal. We won't go through all the rest of the numbers. There's lots of really cool numbers in here. But we'll just wanted to point out the fact that the US debt is just going up and up and up, 33 trillion. And you can see that some of the revenue is actually going down. The income tax revenue going down, which is pretty insane. And of course, this budget deficit here going up and up and up, adding to a bigger US national debt. So that brings us kind of the context of the debt that's out there. And part of that, of course, is the debt ceiling that's been put on. And of course, we thought that was not going to be, we were going to be hitting it on the 1st of October, that they wouldn't make a deal, but a deal has been made. So let's hear from Kevin McCarthy, the chair of the House there, and his deal that he made, controversial deal that he made, but nevertheless got it over the edge. And that, in terms of our context, for stock market, crypto market, that's good news. For Pulsechain, good news. So very, very cool.
Ago on the House floor, we passed by overwhelming numbers the ability to keep government open for the next 6 weeks. We've got to understand why we are here. The Senate has produced not one appropriation bill through the floor. The House, more than 70% of discretionary spending has now passed. I do not believe our troops need to be punished for us not getting the work done. So I ask Congress, we'll stay in session the next 2 weeks, continue to work to get this done, but you cannot look the men and women in our military in the eye and ask them why they are not going to be able to pay their bills because the Senate hasn't done their work.
All right, so there we go. That's from Kevin McCarthy there, Speaker of the House, and of course, a big deal, right? So that's given us 6 weeks. We've got 6 weeks window there to get a better deal done. Now, it's a controversial deal, of course. I had Democrats come in on one side. You had the conservative side of the Republican Party resisting, because what they want to do is they want to deal, the conservative party wants to deal with this debt. They want to make a better outcome for the debt here that's being accrued in terms of the budget and everything else, the federal budget and stuff like that. So it really is really important. On one hand, you've got to keep the government going. On the other hand, you've still got to deal with this issue that just keeps getting kicked down the road. And of course, you've got more fiscal conservatives and a big part of the Republican Party, not the whole party, but a big part of the Republican Party, and you've got big fiscal spenders on the Democrat Party, generally speaking. So you've got this conflict going on constantly, and it just keeps getting kicked down the road all the time. Boom, boom, boom. But meanwhile, the budget spending gets more, the deficit gets bigger, and the problem's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At some stage, it's probably going to pop, but it's not today. So that's good news. So there we are. That is the good news, folks. So we've had no government shutdown, which is pretty good. Now, obviously, we've got also the Fed playing its role as well, and we're going to talk about that because the Fed is coming up. Now, we're going to listen to let me just see here. We're going to listen to Steve Bernanke. Let me look here. Just pull this up. Steve Hanke here. He's an economist, and he has been calling the inflation very, very well so far. So we're going to hear from him about where he thinks it's going to head. This is hot off the press too, by the way. This was recorded the 29th, but still very relevant to where we're heading in terms of interest rates and stuff.
2%, right? What's the Fed going to do? Cut rates?
Well, yeah. If that happens and simultaneously we are in a recession, the Fed will pivot. They'll stop quantitative tightening and they'll start reducing the Fed funds rate.
Well, then given that you think there's going to be a recession and given that your inflation outlook has been correct thus far, you're saying, I guess indirectly, that we're expecting a Fed pivot by next year. Right?
Yes, they will pivot sometime next year because the Fed, they have no theory of anything. They are data dependent. They're driven by data that are coming in day by day. So if they see the CPI down at 1%, they will be inclined to pivot. And if they see a recession and increasing unemployment, they will be tending towards a pivot too. So all of that is pivot data. That data dependency that they look at and they rely on, that will signal to them that they better pivot. But it'll be too late because all the data that they're looking at is lagging. The thing they should have been looking at is what in the world they were doing with the money supply all throughout this year. They haven't been looking at it. They're flying blind.
All right. So pretty insightful from Bernanke there. And of course, the reality is that everything's going to be lagged. So next year, looks like we're not going to have a soft landing. We already saw Jerome Powell indicate that. And of course, this economist is basically indicating that, we're going to have lag data. The Fed doesn't know what it's doing. They're flying blind, which is pretty hilarious. And of course, they're not monetarists in the Fed, right? They don't seem to be monetarists. He's a monetarist. And so he's talking about the monetary theory of supply. And of course, he's been accurately getting the inflation right. And they don't know what they're doing. So indicating we'll probably have a medium to hard landing next year. And of course, inflation getting quite low and then pivoting, but they always pivot too late. And so we get more damage in the economy. And so that's particularly going to affect the stock market. So we'll be watching out for that. So pretty interesting stuff at the moment and the outlook. But 2024 would probably definitely get a pivot, but it'll probably be quite late and the real economy will get hit next. And then, of course, stock market hit at some stage later on in next year. So, but not this year. So far, so good. All right. Let's move on into crypto. That is pretty much the good news. So crypto doing pretty well. Also on the weekend, 26,988. We've been pretty much around 27,000. We're up about 0.2% on Bitcoin. Ethereum there at 1671 is up a little bit too. I actually suspect that Ethereum should have a good week this week. We've got the ETFs coming this week, remember, and of course that was kind of cool with the potential shutdown. Is that the SEC wanted to get all the data in by Friday and get the approvals. We'll probably see a lot of those on Monday. And of course, the first trading start happening on Tuesday, generally speaking. Although the Valkyrie one may start trading on Monday. We'll see as it got approved, I think, at the end of last week there. So that's going to be fun to see the Ethereum ETFs launch as well. And remember, there's up to about 15 of them. So it could be bang, 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 bang. And of course, that will bring and potentially attract a lot more capital into the crypto market. So that's really good news, particularly good for Ethereum. Now, the other good news that we get with Ethereum is later on in the year, but it will probably not be till next year, and that is the proto-dank sharding. And of course, that particularly may not benefit Ethereum per se, but of course, the second layer, Optimism and Atrium there, and they'll probably benefit for that anyway next year. So I think the good news is really coming up this week for Ethereum. We have seen obviously low gas prices in September, like we did last year. And of course, that means that we've had a lot more ETH in supply as well. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. But I suspect that we'll probably see Ethereum start rising into October like we did last year, maybe into the teens at least, maybe even higher given the ETFs. And of course, probably start rising after that. I think September may end up being maybe, I don't know, be a cyclical low. Definitely looks like that at the moment. So really, really cool on that front. Otherwise, we had a bit of a mixed day on the markets. We've got Solana there is up 5%, up $21 to $21.40, sorry. And we've got Maker there is up 5.8% as well to $1,535. Some of the standouts there. That's pretty much it on the markets. Let's quickly go to Bitcoin. Have a look at the Bitcoin chart here on Coinbase. This is Bitcoin Coinbase. We got our death cross, remember, back here. Back here. And of course, we've actually, looks like we talked about it potentially being a fake out. Fake out, in other words, not really signaling a full-on downtrend. And certainly its potentiality for that to be the case is still around, particularly with this good news around, the Ethereum ETFs, the 6-week reprieve, at least for the government shutdown. And this looks good for us. Remember that the Fed Reserve meeting isn't until November, the beginning of November. So we've got a really good window of opportunity in October. October could be particularly bullish. There's not really anything holding us down. So far so good on all this at the stage. And if we have a look at the monthly, as I think Brendan was pointing out in the chat there, we look at the monthly on Bitcoin, green month for September, and a lot of people were pretty bearish on that, right? Another red month. We had 2 red months. We had July and August, and we were going to get September being red as well. But so far, green, and maybe October even more green. So that'd be pretty cool. Maybe this could be the low, right? The low 25,000, 24,900 was the low for September. 25,230 the low for August. So August, September there around just under 25,000, and then maybe we'll get a nice little rally up here in October. Fingers crossed, because everything's set up for it. Really, there's nothing. We've got good news pretty much, so nothing negative that I can see so far. So that's kind of cool. The stock, we'll be watching the stock market tomorrow. Or at least on US time would be cool. And see how that performs as well. So it's going to be fun to see the stock market open with the good news about the no shutdown and 6-week reprieve. We could have a higher low rather than breaking down. And of course, we really want to hold this 24,800. And I think we've got the news to do it. So fingers crossed on that as well. And we also got this angular upward trend also on the monthly. So we'll see how we hold that too. So it looks pretty good all around. So that leads us into, of course, the SEC. And of course, we had that there. SEC rushes Ethereum futures approvals before government shutdown. It's kind of a cool fake out, right? It's ended up being good for us, even though they did make a deal to extend it for 6 weeks. Stopgap measure, right? Stopgap measure there. Ethereum futures ETFs to launch next week amid SEC rush, and that's good news. Securities Exchange Commission is rushing to approve Ethereum products for the government shutdown. Of course, there is no shutdown at least for another 6 weeks, and I'm sure that they'll probably do another deal by then. According to Bloomberg ETF expert Eric Balchunas, the Valkyrie, of course, we talked about that, Van Eyck, ProShares, Bitwise, HashDex, Volti shares, all expected to begin trading their futures ETFs on Monday. So talking about Monday, as soon as Monday there, but probably we may see them on Tuesday. So there we go. So pretty good news on that front. Today's Valkyrie's chief executive officer, Stephen McClurg, told Reuters that the investment manager obtained SEC approval to convert its existing Bitcoin futures fund into an ETF investing in both Bitcoin and Ethereum futures. We did cover that last week. The named Valkyrie Bitcoin and Ether Strategy ETF, now called BTF, of course, will start trading on the New York Stock Exchange on October the 2nd. So good news, folks, for next week. And next week could be a real ripper. Really going to be fun to see that play out. McClurg said that the rival asset managers Van Eyck and ProShares have also received approval from the SEC on their list for the list Ether future. So yeah, they may very well start trading Monday. I don't think we were aware of that this update last week. And Van Eyck there filed for the Van Eyck's Ethereum Strategy ETF, EFUT, which will be the first active ETH futures ETF with the lowest expense ratio of 0.6%. Rivals ProShare and Bitwise have also announced filings for 3 and 2 Ethereum ETFs respectively, pending SEC approval. So a real boom for Ethereum, right? Real boom on these TradeFi markets. Really, really cool. Additionally, Hashdex and volatility shares ETFs linked to Ethereum futures are also slated to begin trading on Monday, according to Bloomberg analyst James here. So must have been a few faxes through to the teams over the weekend there with approvals. So that looming shutdown, very bullish for the crypto market, has turned out to be quite a win there. Hashdex partnered with Kelly ETFs on an ETH ETF called EX, while volatility shares Ethu will charge the highest fee at 1.1%. All right, I think I like the 0.61%, 0.6% compared to that. So that is really good news for us. Very, very cool. And of course, look at you got some of the headlines here. SEC told to approve the Bitcoin spot ETF immediately by Congress. They're getting a bit of pressure there as well. As you guys know, the hearings were last week, so bullish news. All right, so some really good stuff happening there. We're going to get to the Pulsechain market, of course. We're going to talk about Pulsechain now, and we're going to read some of these comments in the chat. Brendan's talking about the debt numbers there. There are a lot of numbers indeed on that debt calculator. Just posted the debt calculator. It's horrible, says excellent choice. Yeah, pretty bad. It's really bad. People, that does need to be addressed. We don't want to get to the Great Reset where you will own nothing and you'll be happy type thing. We don't want that, right? Crypto save us, says Brennan. Absolutely. Sandy Beach is annoyed by that debt. I am too. I think it's terrible. I try to ignore it, says Sandy. Yep. What else there? Let's jump into it. We've got Crypto Clays in the house there. Another influencer in the space. Big shout out there. Morning legends. Good to see you, Crypto Clays. Welcome to the chat. Keep crushing it on the old streams. We've got Joey Torres as well. Hi, all. Good to see you, Joey. Welcome to the chat. Who else has jumped in here? I think that's Christian. Christian is here. Never fear. Hello, Familia from Christian. Big shout out to you as well. Now, if you want to meet a lot of these people, talk to a lot of people online, join the Discord. The link's in the video description. And get involved. That's all I can say. All right, let's jump back and let's continue on talking about Pulsechain now. And of course, we've got day 141. We're finishing day 141. We're about to start day 142, so still very early. And of course, we got the price of a Pulse there is at quadruple 0466. It is at up 5.4%, and it's now at 47% of sacrifice price. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We're almost back at the halfway mark there towards the sacrifice price. So really cool there. We've got Pulsex at the moment at quadruple 0123, and of course that's up 6.55%. One Pulse will now get you 3.77 Pulsex. Have you guys noticed this has been slipping most days for the last week? Excuse me. So we used to have this at 1 to 4. It's now down at 1 to 3.77, so slowly slipping there. We're watching out for that. But of course, my favorite number is the buy and burn on PulseX. 458.1 billion PulseX is now bought and burned. And of course, this is one of the special unique features of Pulsechain and PulseX that makes it superior to every other chain and DEX combo. So this is going to be really huge in the future. We know that the total supply is issued at the beginning, and we are just slowly deflating that supply, right? That's really cool. We ignore the origin account holdings. We just really care about the public holdings, and it's slowly just decreasing as a percentage of that, which is fantastic. Unlike, say, PancakeSwap, for example, it has a lot of inflation and deflationary measures to offset its inflation. It is still net inflationary, whereas we are just deflating that pool there. So it's really, really cool. We're now at 2.21% of the public supply is now burned, which is kind of cool. We've got incentive token there at $1.15. It's up 4.63%, and the ratio has dropped below 25,000. So it's just continuing to slide there. 24,267 pulse per one incentive token. We've got well over 12 million incentive tokens in existence, and we've now got 96,264 incentive tokens being burned through the TRH GameFi protocol from Jacob and the PulsePot BNB team there. Moving to Hex. Hex is at 87 hundredths of a penny. Nice strong move up by Hex today, 6.4%. And of course, EHEX there is at 0035, so pretty much the same as yesterday. The combined price of PHEX and EHEX is at 1.22 cents. Still not breakout levels, but I have a good feeling about October for HEX. So what do you guys reckon? I have a good feeling about October for HEX if we keep this momentum going. And of course, one PHEX will equal 187 pulse, and one PHEX equals 2.48 EHEX at the moment. And those are the numbers. So we're going to get into the charts. Let's have a look at the charts for that. And I've got that in the wrong place. Let me jump out of that way. Let's go to Pulse. This is the Pulse chart at the moment. So looking very, very good today. And of course, you could see our bottom that we had all the way back on the 27th of August. That is why we've got a poll in the chat at the moment, because it's been about 35 days since the bottom. And we've got that poll in there talking about, do you feel more bullish about Pulsechain than you did a month ago, right? Because 35 days ago, we were at the bottom. And yeah, 88% is so far yes, no, maybe, unsure. Get in there and make your vote count, and we'll check that out. I've also got that poll up on Superman Crypto. If you're watching on Superman Crypto, definitely get in there and vote over there too. Right, so that is pretty much it. Let's have a look at the numbers there. Let's do a little move here. We're going to look from the bottom. So we are currently up almost 40% from the bottom. So almost 40% from the bottom over 35 days. So that's a good, strong move ahead. And more importantly, we've got some nicer structure happening. We've got a slightly higher low here on the 11th to 12th of September compared to the 27th of August there. And then we've got a significantly higher low on the 25th of September, and that is at over 4,000. And then we're just slowly riding up here. We're at some pretty critical mark here. We want to break out over the 5,000, and we've got all the right things, I think, lining up for that at the beginning of October. So next week could be a real doozy. And so, yeah, we're looking for this 5,000 mark. That's our next target to cross over. So definitely looking for that to happen. And of course, even getting over 5,600, we're even more bullish, right? So 5,000 is the first target, 5,600 the next target, really bullish. We've got the Bollinger Bands moving up as well, Bollinger Band direction. And of course, that's looking really cool. This top blue line is the top 95% of the range. And you can see that's moving up towards the 5,000, which is pretty cool. And we're up at 4,000, almost 4,900 on top of the Bollinger Band there. Really good. Let's have a look at the RSI. RSI measure is up at 58. Plenty of room to move. Plenty of room for a nice rally and get us over a new support level. So plenty of room for that to happen. Very, very cool. We do want to see more volume come in. We did see a bit of a pickup in volume here. We do want to see a bit more volume come in today as well. We now got a brand new candle, right? So that's yesterday's candle. This candle is 5 minutes old. So we just started a new candle. Let's fingers crossed that's going to be nice and green on that too. Get a bit of momentum, right? A couple of days in the office. That'd be pretty cool getting us up over that 5,000 mark, which is pretty cool. So good news all around. This is a Pulsechain. Pretty similar story, of course. We want to get over the 1,300 mark here. That's kind of the mark that we want to get over. And of course, we've got a rising Bollinger Band as well. Pretty similar story around the RSI. Plenty of room to move. Here we are down at 55, 56 there as well. So nice little whiplash. Will we see some bigger moves in Pulsechain? That's the key, right? Some relativity moves. In other words, Pulsechain moving more aggressively compared to Pulse. Look out for that this week and see whether we see a trend in that. And that could be some pretty mad gains, right? So pretty cool. So that is kind of the charts here. Let's quickly go back to Pulse and go to the all-time high and see how far we could go in terms of the pressure there. I'm just going to full screen that. And let's take that to there. Let me just scroll that back. And let's get the ruler out and have a look, see where we are from the all-time high here, all the way down. And so we're still 83.7% down from the all-time high. But probably more interestingly is that we're still, from the SEC event, we're still down, which is also around the sacrifice price for the mean sacrifice price. We're also down 53.36%. But man, nice little 40% move on that on Pulse, looking really good. Now let's have a look at Pulsechain. We're going to not do the downside of it, but let's do the upside. Upside back to sacrifice price. This yellow line at the top is a 700% still, just sitting there for the patient. If you're a patient, it's just sort of just sitting there in my view. Obviously not financial advice, but if you believe in Pulsechain, then yeah, it's looking pretty good at the moment. All right. That is let's go to the incentive token. We've got $1.15 on the incentive token. Nice little rise up here, actually. Look at that. That's pretty good. Little rise up there in the price. Looking good. Let's look at the ratio, though. It's probably more important. obviously with Pulsechain going up, we've still got a shedding in the ratio. So Pulse going down slightly, but it has tapered off the last couple of days. But we're still down at all-time lows, 24,766. Not surprising given, the incentive farms are keeping minting on more incentive tokens. Potential news in the future. Single-sided staking, the DAO, limit orders, those are sort of directly involved. Maybe some third-party DApp or some surprise DApp from RH, who knows? Those are still out there as well. So yeah, it will be, see whether they occur or not. Moving to PHEX. PHEX at the moment, let's go to the daily chart here on PHEX, and you can see we've got higher lows. We've been somewhat muted though on the PHEX, really not as aggressive as say Pulse has been. And but we do, if we get a breakout here, I think we're probably in for some good times. We get a breakout above this level. So yeah, 9,300 of a penny seems to be that level. If we can break past that, that's very exciting for where Hex could go in the short term. So looking quite nice there as well. Still got relatively low volumes coming in, but definitely that is the case there. And the RSI, plenty of room to move, just like all the rest of them. 55 on the RSI there. So definitely looking not too bad. Nice little breakout here. Could have quite a nice release. And bam, let's go. Maybe this week, first week of October could be that week. Certainly feels good about it, and especially with Ethereum doing well. Also, moving to EHEX, of course. And I have the saying, the poor cousin. I don't mean to be too rude, but poor cousin there. And is that a saying? I don't know. I just made it up. But whatever. Poor cousin is up there at 3,500th of a penny. But there has been a nice little move there as well in the old EHEX there. And of course, if you look at the last 4 days, that's actually not a bad move. It's 15%. That's about 5 times more than you get in the bank or something, maybe 4 times. Isn't it interesting? The banks, when the interest rates go up, they're quick to raise up their loan interest rates, but they're slow to raise their deposit rates. They're such charlatans, aren't they? That's why we love DeFi, we love crypto, and so yeah, at least the markets move in real time, right? No price gouging there. And I tell you what, the banks do not care. The banks do not care. All right, so that is pretty much it. Let's go to the PHEX and EHEX combined. Hopefully we're going to be able to pull this up. Let's close some of these windows so I can get more computer power. And we're waiting for the PHEX, EHEX. This is on investdex.io, which is a really great, probably the #1 workstation on a Pulsechain. So let's have a quick look. It's the only reason why it's taking a while to lead because I had so many screens open. So let me just refresh that. It's not to do with the InvestDex. It's just to do with my computer playing up there. All right, so this is the 15 minutes. Go to the hourly chart, and we can see a nice little move high here in the old on the hourly for the old PHEX EHEX combined. We actually got up to a few hours ago, got up to 1.25 penny combined on PHEX and EHEX. Currently at 1.22 cents there at the moment. So looking very good as the old PHEX EHEX here. And the last time we got up higher was 1.3 back here on the 20th of September. So fingers crossed on that one. Continue on into today and tomorrow and the rest of the week. So that's some of the highlights there. Let's quickly look at the validators. The validators have been breaking records. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 43,719 validators in there. Look at that. The Pulsechain is the people's chain. The Pulsechain really is leading the DeFi revolution as well. You don't get turned off, right? You don't get turned off on the old Pulsechain. And there we are. Just ticks away around the world. The people validating the blockchain, which is pretty awesome. We got 1.4 trillion Pulse off the market. And as you guys know, we also have, in addition to this being off the market, not available for sale, which is about 9.3% of the total public supply. We also got EIP 159 burning. We also got the 4,096 validators that burned 132 billion on the exit. And of course, in addition to this, we've got liquid loans confirmed launch for October. And of course, that's going to open up a lot of things with the Fetch Oracle, liquid loans, the fork of liquidity, and of course, collateralizing Pulse. Issuing our second stablecoin, USDL, and liquidity farm incentives, stablecoin linked stablecoin pools all the way to the fiat gate through Coast, and of course opening up Power City Earn protocol, collateralizing Pulsex, opening up a new stablecoin, the number 3, Pulsex PXDC, and of course liquidity pools. It's going to be absolute boomer for Pulsechain with our top tier blue chip protocols launching. We've already seen all the PH Universe protocols launched. Fiat, Famous, PHUX, and of course Fatty there. We've got those suites. and now we're about to have the other 2 big ecosystems launch as well. And of course, in October, we're also getting the Zen ecosystem launching some of their most successful dApps, including DBZN Crypto, DXN NFTs, DBZN NFTs, and that's going to be a bit of a boom towards the back end, 23rd of October. So really exciting month. We've potentially got 9-inch DEX launching, many others. It's absolutely going to be a fun time as we lead into the end of the year for Pulsechain's growth as well. So looking really bullish there. Let's get into the gas prices. Gas prices here nice and cool in the weekend. We're sitting about 1 million beats at the moment. And of course, maybe about 2 weeks ago or so, we had the beats were down at 400,000-500,000. I don't know whether we're going to get that for a long time. Definitely the way that the market's going to be booming this month. And of course, we're at 1 million beats at the moment. That means 1 cent for a PulseX swap, 1/10 of a penny for a Pulse coin transfer, and 3/10 of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. At the moment, we're 249 249 times cheaper than Ethereum and 995 times cheaper than Bitcoin. That slow thing. So it's pretty crazy. Now let's quickly look at the gas prices on Ethereum since they are been low in September. I'm going to have a look at this again. It's always good to remind if you missed out on this to see this, what's happening here. So yeah, we've had low gas prices on Ethereum lately. We've been down, as low as 6 Gwei. It's been pretty incredible. It's currently 6 Gwei at the moment, which is pretty crazy. And of course, we've had similar to September, where we've got crazy low prices in gas prices last year. So we had September, it seems to be repeating the same time. But then, of course, as we move into October, especially with ETFs and other things going on, we could have a very busy month in October on Ethereum. And of course, slowly rise into the more bullish period of the year, right? So September does seem to be the low price. If it repeats last year, then we could see these gas prices, which is at the low at the moment right now, 6 Gwei, super low, so low grade at the moment, start rising up there. So if you've got a Hex end stake, great, lucky for you, because you're getting 6 Gwei for your end stake on Ethereum. So that's good news for you. If you want to make a brand new stake, it's nice and cheap, 6 Gwei, and you can make a new Hex mining T-share there as well. So, or mining CD as well. So pretty cool. All right, that's pretty much it on that. Let's jump away. We're going to get into the markets next. Before we do that, though, let's catch up in the chat, and we've got a few more comments, so we'll get to that. What do we got to? We got Yo Mama in out there. What happens on day 369? We got Crypto Class. Hey, Brennan, how's things? Yeah, Brennan's doing amazing stuff there, Crypto Class. In the chat there, he's a master gamer now too. Not only is he a TA specialist in our Discord, he's also a master gamer. With DHEX in the house there, yes, it's go time. Woohoo, says DHEX. Absolutely, I'm super excited as well. All right, what else have we got? Crypto King. No shutdown means inflation will continue to skyrocket. No, that's the opposite of what we're saying from a fiscal point of view. But if you're a monetarist, no. The answer is that we will, from the monetarist, the economist that I played, is that we will get that going down really low. So that's what the forecast from the economist has said, based on monetarist, and he's been right. They've been wrong, and he's been right. So that is from Steve Hankey there. Of course, he is the economist we just looked at earlier. So I agree with you on the fiscal side of things, but if you're a monetarist and they seem to be calling the shots correctly lately, then yeah, inflation will, the GDP will fall off. The GDP will fall off with the higher interest rates, and then of course we'll have inflation fall off, and then the Fed will pivot. That's the logic there. I might cover that in more detail because raise a good question there, Crypto King. We got Crypto Clays as well. Same. I keep looking at different cloth options. And Doc says, "What are you guys talking about? You guys getting fat? They're getting ready for the beach. I think they're getting ready for the beach." Brendan says, "I got some Hex merch last month." Boy, I'm trying to jump through these comments, but then you got this private conversation. You guys are crazy, man. Hey, Hexcavator in house there. Hey, gang, good to see Hexcavator. And Sandy Beach says, I need a visa for Oz. Yeah. Sandy wants to go hang out with Crypto Clays and Brennan. Was it the Hex? Is it a cruise? I think it's a cruise. Is it? I thought the cruise had already been on, but maybe I was wrong about that. Hexcavator says, dig in, enjoy the ride. Absolutely. We got Check My Pulse. Evening all. Good to see Check My Pulse. Kristen says, yes, sir, 6 Gwei, time to do transactions on Ethereum. Yeah, it's definitely a good time for that. It's probably going to be the cheapest people are going to get there as well. What I said, jack of all trades and must have done. I have no idea what these guys are talking about. But anyway, we got Craig Pitt in the house there. Morning, Superman. Good to see you, Craig. welcome to the chat there. And Sandy Beach looks like she's going to Aussie next year. Very cool, Sandy. You will love it, honestly, Sandy. Honestly, you will love it, especially around the coast side as well. You'll have to go to, what's it, Ayers Rock or whatever it is in the middle. You'll have to probably go there. It's pretty hot, though. Damn hot, actually. Brendan says, talking about the Hex meetup in October. Right, it is in October, so it hasn't happened yet. So I was right about that. No, I was wrong about that because I forgot which time it was. I thought it may have already happened in September, and I was like, couldn't remember it all. I checked my pulse. Says, woke up from a nap after work to green candles. Nice. Yeah, it was very, very cool indeed. All right. Sandy Beach says, I'd love to hang out with Claire and Brennan and someone else too, says Sandy. Nice one, Sandy. All right. Let's jump back. Let's jump back into it and let's keep going. We're still going. Let's have a look at the rest of the market. So we've looked at the Richard Hart markets with tokens. Let's have a look at some of the top PRC20s. These are ones that were copied over in the fork of Ethereum, which was done on the 10th of May at 10:36 UTC time this year. We've got PDI, which is said it's been very volatile. It is actually up today. So I've sorted this by liquidity. This is my custom list, of course. We've got by liquidity sorting here. And we've got PDI is back. PDI is back again, like the Backstreet Boys. Let me know in the chat there if you went and saw the Backstreet Boys on their comeback tour. Let me know. I know some of you have. Some of you could not resist the Backstreet Boys. They're back again. As we're. Where did they come back? They really come back at the end of that movie. What was that movie where they all come back? It was that silly comedy movie. Can't remember. I'm just trying to think. What was it? Was it The End of the World or something like that? Some crazy movie. Anyway, so we got 0.001 cents. That is the price there. So 1/10 of a penny is back. And of course, got down to 0008 on PDI or DAI. This is DAI versus Atropa. And of course, it is back up at 1/10 of a penny there. It failed to get higher back here. Got up to 15.30 back here on the 26th of September. But now it's back down at 1. So let's see if this thing can finally have a go at trying to hit 1 cent, right? 1 cent from here. That'd be huge. That's the yellow line up here. Look, that is 1/10 of a penny, approximately. It will take I got to get that exactly on the thing there. Where's that? I can't get exactly on the line. That's terrible. Let's see. So that's the goal. That's the goal there. It's 1,000%. Let's see if it can happen. And of course, it's the closest it's got so far is back here on the 15th September. It got up to 2.848. So just under 0.3 of a penny. That's what it's got to beat to try and get back up to this 1 cent. And if it gets to 1 cent, then I guess we can start dreaming about 10 cents, right? You can start dreaming about 10 cents if it gets to 1 cent on PDI or DAI as it's called on Pulsechain. And of course, we'll be watching that up for sure. All right, let's jump back and have a look at some of the others though. PDI can't steal all of our attention. We've got Teddy Bear up 15.8% there. Atropa Pulse, we'll have a look at Atropa. I know a lot of people out there love Atropa. And we had this got drained right down. Look at that thing. I don't know why they love it. They must have felt a lot of pain. Or, it's a love-hate relationship. I don't know, whatever it is. But that is the Atropa there with Pulse versus Pulse. Came down all the way 73%. You got to feel the pain there. And of course, sure there were some arguments. Relationships have arguments, and sometimes if it's productive. And as long as you don't go too far, right, with the argument, you got to be careful with the words that you use. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, so we're actually up today at the moment, up almost 20%. So that is kind of cool. Wrap Bitcoin, that has managed to get back up as well. So Wrap Bitcoin here bounced through our sort of support line that I had. We got down to $82. We're back up at 95. So a good day in the office for Wrap Bitcoin there as well. All right, what else have we got going there? Treasury Bill is up at 19%. Other big players. Those are kind of the highlights there of the big liquidity pools. Let's just look at by percentages. Pretty similar story there. The big liquidity pools are the ones that are doing well. Those prices. Fetch is doing well there. There's hardly any liquidity in it though. That's why I don't generally like the liquidity with the small ones there. Let's look at Plutos. Plutos got 13k liquidity. That is up 16%. What else is looking interesting? Aave, the copy there, not 8,000 liquidity. That is up 10%. Matic there up 7.5%, 1,000. Lido is got 10,000 liquidity, up 7% almost. And those are pretty the highlights there as well. Just finally linked there as well. Now, some of the ones we're looking at, of course, that are not up at the moment is Pepe and SHIB. these are the two that you should keep a lookout for, because these are the ones that will probably do well for the 9-inch decks, right? Pepe and Shib, the big two meme coins. We've got 49K liquidity, 32K liquidity. They're down 2% at the moment. Let's have a quick look at those for the 9-inch decks. Now, you do obviously have to buy them generally. You have to sort of take a position before a 9-inch dex comes out, because otherwise you're too late, right? You're too late. The market will just go bing, and there'll be a big green candle, and you'll be out of it. Not financial advice, of course. Do your own due diligence. We're playing probability. But at the moment, it's come back down to 1,300. And I kind of felt like if it got down to sort of 1,000, sort of in this period, that'd be a very good entry. And of course, if it gets, say, maybe somewhere around 1,300, that's probably the top of the entry list there, and it's pretty close to that now, 1,364. So getting pretty attractive there on entry before the 9-inch decks potentially. That could be something that people want to support with their allocation of BBC tokens. So we're watching out for that, but probably not as good as the medium-sized ones. The other one, of course, is what's the other one? We got. Did I just do Shib? Pepe. Was it Pepe? Pepe there is even better. Look at that. Pepe looking even better. And of course, that's got 32K liquidity, but this is right at the bottom here. This could particularly do well 9-inch decks as well. Not financial advice, but we will see. Those are the two big memes that have been copied over. Let's jump over to the memes, of course. And of course, these three are the medium-sized meme coins, as I call them. And of course, these are all from the founders of these three particular meme coins, all from the founders of 9-inch decks, which we're expecting to launch, expecting to do quite well. $16 million was sacrificed for that, so it's got a lot of attention. We've got where the ETH go is up 11%. Paul Pleb is down 3%. And Pulse Dodge there is pretty much flat. Just have a quick look at these. These are the biggest. This is sorted by liquidity pools. And we can see a nice little green day yesterday for where the ETH go. Bounced off 42 cents. Now at 47 cents there. And of course, that's one of the ones that will probably get single-sided staking pools and BBC token incentives, as based on Hexy Bastard's comments, one of the team members there, and of course the founder of Paul Pleb. So we'll have a quick look at Paul Pleb, and Paul Pleb here is at 3,700, pretty much in the zone of buying, actually, isn't it? You know, if you think about the zone here, probably in the top of that zone of accumulating. Obviously, the cheaper the better. You know, maybe around 3,000 is a very nice entry. But 3,700 is the top, is probably where you might want to start accumulating, because this will probably get single-side support there, as indicated by Hexy Bastard there. So not bad. Probably the best out of the three though is Pulse Dodge, and you probably should use Patias for this if you're going to be buying and selling, because there are bots on these which are really annoying. And so Patias there probably the better tool to use to try and accumulate some of this. You just need to copy the contract and just type it in and get Patias there. This one already rallied, so it hasn't quite come back full way. It's currently at 4,400. A nice little entry on this would be down at 3,000, right down here. That'd be at the top of the mark, but it hasn't drifted that far down. When 9-inch launches, no one's really sure. Are they waiting for the Fetch Oracle? Don't know. They had issues with their audit. They had to adapt their code for that, and so yeah, it's still not out yet at the moment. So 3,000 would be a really nice entry. Keep a lookout for that as well. Pulse Dodge there, not bad. Let's rank by percentages. Best one there, Hex Orange Address up 14.5%. Dodge there up 14% there. More token from Trayvon up 11% there. Fluffy Slippers up 9%. The attached soul there with almost no liquidity almost in it. It's not worth talking about, but that is up 8% there. Pepil as well. Pepilor in there is pretty small liquidity. That's up a little bit there as well. So some of these have got so small liquidity, they're not worth talking about. So just take that into account. All right, let's jump over to the final category, Pulsechain projects, the most important one. And yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Let's look by liquidity. We're going to sort by liquidity here. The best performer at the moment is Algo, 7.5%. TRH, 3.2%. They're up. Those are the bigger ones there by liquidity. I guess the best one out of all these is Pulse Kitten, up 68% with 29K liquidity. So not bad there. But let's sort by percentages now. So we're just going to sort by 24 hours. And yeah, Pulse Kitten number one there, looking pretty good. Let's have a look at this this price chart for Pulse Kittens. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Look at that. That's what you love in crypto, is those green candles. Oh, I'm blind. I'm blind with the green candles. My goodness. So that's looking really good. We got quadruple 02 pretty much. We've got big pumps and big funding coming in. Not sure what's driving that in particular, but if you're following Pulse Kittens, you've probably got a better idea. I don't politically follow it too closely, but certainly one of the early projects out of the gate. Nice to see it having a little rally. Sort of like a GameFi NFT, isn't it? Something like that. So kind of cool. Forward. All right, we've got Trust Swap there. I don't know what Trust Swap's doing on this list, actually. I might have to move it out, but it should be over on the other list there. So I will try and move that out, actually. Pulse LN founder here is up 27%, 11K liquidity. This is one of our on-ramps to, on-ramps or bridges to Pulsechain. And, of course, also the Lightning Network and BNB. That is up by 27%. So it's had a pretty good day in the office the last couple of days, is it? Well, just yesterday, yeah. So yesterday was up quite nicely. Had already had a rally as well. So nice little price there at 1400th of a penny at the moment. So that is Pulse LN. Fiat, of course, one of the PH universe up there, 16%, but very small liquidity in that pool. Internet Money is up 14%, and Seed, they're up 10%. So they're sort of the leaders at the moment. Having a quick look down at Fame. Fame is at 46 cents. So that's come off the bottom there, up 8%. PHUX there is up 6% as well. Those are all the PH universe projects. Halgo there is up 7%. So that's kind of the headliners there at the moment, which leads us into having a look at the ecosystem. I wanted to look at the ecosystem a bit this time. So we're going to go to DeFi Llama, and we can see that Pulsechain is listed on here. Let us have a look. That is Pulsechain. Now, these numbers are understated in my view. I haven't reconciled them all, but I do understand they're taking some numbers from like CoinGecko. So some of those I think are wrong. So just take that into account. But I think this will give us a general indication. We have got PulseX at the moment, PHUX, SparkSwap, Fiat Protocol, Fame Protocol, Daytona Finance. They're in the top 6 there at the moment. And you can see the liquidity that PHUX, Fiat, and Fame are the top 5 in here, which is all from the PH universe. PHUX is a fork of Balancer. Fiat is a fork of Aave. And Fame is a fork of GMX perpetual swaps, margin trading. Those are the keys. So PH universe dominating. Outside of PulseX and Pulsechain are dominating the TVL. You can see the TVLs there. And these are all behind. All these TVLs are behind here. I don't believe that they're pulling quite the right prices. So you actually have to go to the protocols and check them. So just take that into account. I think these are all understated. So in any case, it's the list is probably fairly accurate, and especially with PHUX at the top there. So PHUX being the biggest, the fork of Balancer. And of course, this is a win-win, right? So fork of Balancer, very good for stablecoins, has better invariant functions for stablecoins, making them 1-to-1 ratios. And of course, very good for index pools. In other words, having more than 2 tokens in a pool. So you can have a bit of diversification. If you know about portfolio management, diversification is good. You don't have too much. Otherwise, you sort of head towards the market average, which might be a negative or a positive. But I like to take what I call the unicorn diversification, which is trying to pick up the what you think is going to be the unicorns, the big. Typically, the unicorns are $1 billion projects, but in this case, we just means the ones that are like blue chip, and of course, having diversification amongst those, which is kind of cool. I do think you need multi-chain diversification, particularly ETH chain and Pulse chain. That's probably what I would go there in terms of that diversification, because both of those, the same technology, both battle tested, and both of them I think will do very well indeed. And of course, Pulse chain with the really big upside, right, in terms of X returns. So really cool, and superior tokenomics. So kind of cool there. You do need some cross-chain diversification. If one chain is down, you can take advantage of the other chain. Those sort of things go on there too. So pretty nice there on the list. So this is the ecosystem. Ecosystem is expanding all the time. We can see that here on DeFi Gamma. And of course, we can see that here on my list of Pulsechain projects, which are currently trading, right? And we've got a varied amount there from DeFi to GameFi and a few other type of projects there too. So let's have a quick look at the PH universe at the moment. So we've got PHUX here. Let's have a quick look at the liquidity. So you can see on here, it's got PHUX at 28 million, but actually, it's actually higher than that. That's what I'm saying. There's kind of understating values. So we'll have a quick look at that. We've got $31 million on PHUX at the moment, which is really exciting. We've got our top pools in there at the moment, 5.9 million in prime PHUX there. So that's PHUX and Pulse. We've got the bridge stables here, USD Tether, USDC, and DAI. They're the bridged-in stables, right? They're $5 million, which is pretty cool. We've got RH Max there. So that's a Richard Hart Maxi pool. We've got Pulse, PulseX, PHEX, Hex, and incentive tokens. So that's the lies beneath. Brings us that every day. That's the ultimate one there. And that's got $3 million in there. That's an official list. We've got CSD stablecoin, our first stablecoin backed by Fiat. That is on there at the moment, $2.85 million in there, and of course about $1 million or probably $900,000 of that is in Coast, the stable coin. The rest is in USD Tether there, but that is building all the time, which is really cool. And you got to remember that Coast, when they bring fiat on ramp into Coast, it's on ramping new economic energy into Pulsechain. So it's a very big deal, and I think it's a big deal that the community, that's you guys out there, use your referral links for Coast. You get 5,000 weight tokens. If Brian's in the chat, he'll probably paste his link. But in any case, if he's not, you can get the link in the video description for Brian. You can support him. He's at number 2 on the ranking. And of course, it brings on capital, right? If you want a dollar cost average into Pulsechain, it is a fantastic way to do it. And of course, we see that the stablecoin for Coast is very stable indeed. Let's go have a look at that at the moment. And have a look at the Coast there. This is the Coast on Pulsex V2. And you can see that we're at 99.43 cents. So we've been pretty much around the dollar. A very nice stabilization there with the pools there. So that's kind of cool. But most of the tokens for Coast are actually sitting in a stable pool here. So people are definitely enjoying the PHUX protocol and putting their stable coins in there at the moment. In fact, we'll just click on here briefly, have a look at how many are in there. Yeah, we've got 971,000 in there, almost $1 million, or at least close to $1 million in value. They're awesome, right? So this is a really big deal. They're targeting $50 million. You guys can help make it possible. Get your own once you've signed up to Coast, and especially if you're dollar cost averaging, maybe you've got some monthly surplus or some capital coming in ad hoc. That's a good way of doing it, and of course boost the system there. So very cool. So think about it. We've got the Coast on ramp, that fiat on ramp from fiat. We've also got the cross chain bridges there, the official bridge, some BNB bridges. And I'm sure we need more cross-chain bridges to come into technology. And of course, we've also got some swapping pool mechanisms, a bit like Change Now, things like that, which also play a role in there as well as a proxy for bridges. So that's kind of cool too. So heading in the right direction is Pulsechain. So that's PHUX there. Let's have a look at some of the other big pools that are on PHUX. We've got Pareto there. That's Fame and Pulse. Pretty good, strong combination. Fame there with the more riskier pools, but potential upside pretty huge. That's an 80-20% pool, but with some Pulse there anchoring that, 1.5 million in that moment, looking pretty good. We got pulsing for fiat. We got fiat and wrap Pulse there as well, 50-50. And of course, fiat is a fork of Aave there. That's a fairly conservative one there, but big upside on Pulse, right? Big upside on Pulse. That's at 1.4 million at the place at the moment, and looking pretty good. So some really nice pools over 1 million. How many pools? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pools over $1 million now in PHUX. So that's awesome. The fork of balancer and 31 million TVL. Like I said, if Pulse goes up 3x or 2x, this is going to be the first protocol over $100 million outside of Pulsex, right? So really exciting to see where PHUX goes to, and of course particularly efficient for stablecoin swaps, right? So you probably want to do that. Now they've also been partnering up with Pateas, the DEX aggregator, and I'm sure the other DEX aggregators as well, also being able to funnel through not only Pulsex V1, V2, but also through PHUX as well. A lot of volume going through these DEXs, so very exciting to see that. All right, let's jump over to Fame. Fame, of course, another one of the PH Universe. They've got PH Universe is one of our top 4 ecosystems. It's already rolled out all its protocols. They're now going to be moving on into synergies. In other words, getting the most out of these products. And you can see some really cool numbers coming out of here. So it's been about, 13 days in the office for this. So let's quickly pull up the token for this and have a look. So let's go to Fame here. Fame at the moment bouncing off the bottom. That is Fame at the moment, and it is got down to a low of 34 cents. So if you picked it up there, pretty well done to you. That was 5 days ago. We're now at 46, just under 47 cents at the moment. And of course, let's have a look at Fame. So we've had 11.8 million in volume in all that time, which is amazing, right? Doing very well indeed. And we're sitting at 15 days, let's say 14 and a half days, something like that, 14, 15 days. And of course, that is the result so far, 11.8 million total volume of positions taken out by traders with their longs and shorts. Currently at the moment, we've got 1.2 million in open interest. This has actually gone down. Why has it gone down? Why do you guys think it's gone down? Well, it's gone down because Pulse and Pulsex have all broken up to the upside. And so the shorts have got liquidated, all closed their positions, right? So we're down at 1.2, still very good numbers, but we're up. I think we're up about 1.8 or something like that. So let's have a look at some of the numbers down below. We're going to go down to the traders here. You can see traders got wrecked yesterday. PL there is down 11,600. This is what happens when you do short positions. You're betting the price will go down, but the prices break out to the upside. And of course, $11,600 got wrecked yesterday. So that is what happened to traders there. And you can see the combined price there at the moment as well. Yesterday, the cumulative losses were, so this is the cumulative losses over that last 14 days or so, is 25,000. Profit is 13,800. So those losses are good. If you've got in the PHL pool, you're happy about that because you just got a lot more assets going into your pool. And of course, you remember you get 60% of the fees, plus you get the losses on gains out of the trading. And of course, in this case, cumulative losses are negative. So 25K versus 13K. So you're doing pretty well with that. You've managed to bag, I guess, around about $11,000, $12,000 in addition to the fees. So you're laughing yourself all the way to the bank. However, there's a lot of people holding longs, and those longs are in profit. A lot of them are in profit. And if you haven't seen people like Dipcatcher out there posting their big profit gains on those positions, and he's not alone. There's many others on X social platform showing their mad gains. Those guys are all if they take profits and don't end out of the money. And the price keeps breaking out to the upside, you could see some big wins coming in terms of the profit. So watch out for that over the next couple of days. In particular, some of those people will likely, if they think it's the right time, take profits. However, some of them may get so bullish that they don't take profits, and of course we get retraces in the market, and of course they don't get those profits, don't capture those profits. And don't forget, every day everyone's paying those borrowing costs for their position. So approximately around about $1,000 will be about $2 a day in borrowing costs. So for every $1,000 that they take out, so you can think about it, if they took out $10,000, that's probably what did I say? 10 to that's $20 a day or something like that. So just remember that. So that's some of the stuff happening in there. Pretty interesting though, right? Pretty interesting behavior. And let's have a look at the open interest. So these are the people that have taken longs. In other words, they think the price is going to go up. Of course, the price is going up at the moment. They're in the money. And then we've got people that think the price is going to go down. That has changed. Look at this. Look at this change here. So we had all these, it's in red, we had all these shorts. That's gone down. So the shorts have gone down from 553 down to 352. So that's $200,000 worth of shorts have gone down. And of course, longs are looking pretty juicy. We may see a lot more longs today. We'll see what happens there, depending on the price breakout as well. So pretty interesting stuff, right? As we enter the new day. So kind of cool. There's some little insights there. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And of course, we'll be watching the users as well. Users as well are jumping up there. So slowly getting these pink numbers here are the new users. So that's pretty good. But existing users definitely utilizing the project again. So because they already have some experience, right? So they're coming back to use it again. So we're watching these total user numbers also. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that. 52K in fees so far. That's moving on pretty nicely. PH pool there, 1.9 million in the PHL pool there. So that's people providing liquidity so people can actually go and do these open interest positions. So we've got pretty high utilization there, and we're at 476 users that have used so far, which is pretty cool. So let's go to the app as well. Have a quick look at this, and let's go to the dashboard and have a look here. So $9,446 in fees today so far. Very bullish day, and of course with those losses of the shorters getting lost, that has been a bumper to the PHL pool, right? So that's been pretty good news as well. We can see the utilization at the moment is pretty high. Pulse 80%, 70% in Pulsex, 81% in Hex. So this is the amount of borrowing that's taking place. People putting in that PHLP, and then traders are borrowing that money and making a play pretty much. And what else? We've got the DAI there at 62%, USDC 24%, and 65% on USD Tether. So stable coins are what you use to do the shorting, right? You use the shorting for stable coins. The Pulse, Pulsex, and Hex and stuff you use to do the longs. You used to bet on the price going up there. So that is kind of the play there. So definitely we've seen the reduction in the shorters. So the utilization's gone down there. Pretty interesting stuff. All right. In terms of the EM protocol, you can see some of the details here as well. We've got almost 51% of FAME estate right now. We've finally got, after a week, right? We had to wait a week for the APR. It's currently showing at 2.12%, but do watch that over the next few days and weeks because it's still early days for the APR, right? So it's actually much higher than that. probably, but we'll see how we go. Actually, I'm trying to think. That's probably accurate, actually, on an annual basis, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than that. We'll keep watching that APR number there as well. Can't remember what I put in my spreadsheet, but that's kind of it at the moment. What else? Staking APR, 43%. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So staking APR, 43% at the moment. Staking APR will start to show in about 1 week's time. We've had that already. Is a rough estimate based on weekly protocol fees and current token market cap. This does not factor in any potential composition, token price movement, or traders' P&L against the PHLP, which I said traders have been losing, right? They're down about 11, 12,000 cumulatively. So that is what you'd expect to see over time, right? But however, we've got a breakout for the longs. So the longs, a lot of longs in the profit. Long of the positions are in longs. So this could turn around. We're going to be interesting to see that play out. Remember that this launched around the bottom of Pulsechain, just when it was starting to rise in any case 2 weeks ago. So interesting times. If we get an extended long period, it could be pretty a lot of profit taking and could hurt the PHL pool. We'll see where that plays out. It really depends on where the price heads and, of course, those positions. So some cool stuff happening on FAME. And then finally, Fiat. Fiat is doing pretty well also. Let's have a quick look at Fiat. Fiat has got $3.3 million in market cap in there at the moment. Really good numbers. I'm really happy with those numbers. I think that's encouraging. And, of course, we would like to see this head over 10 million or so. But so far, it's encouraging numbers as well. And I think compared to what they had on Ethereum, I think they had like 700,000 to 800,000. I think they topped out at 1.2 million, if I remember rightly. So looking at 3.2 at the moment on that chain, which is not bad. Let's quickly swap to Ethereum. $600,000 on Ethereum, but on Pulsechain, they're sitting at 3.3 million, which is really actually quite encouraging now. Some of the rates at the moment, lending rates, you can get 4% on DAI, which is pretty good. That's pretty attractive. 3.7% on USD Tether, pretty attractive too. So those are some pretty interesting numbers on DAI and USD Tether. Borrowing prices there, 11% and 10% respectively on Pulsechain on those stablecoins. So that's, on the high side, right? So yeah, interesting numbers. All right, kind of cool. That's pretty much it on there. Let's jump away from that. Now, some of the news we're going to have around projects is that, Mintra is up at the moment. Their final testnet deployment goes live. A lot of people have been asking about Mintra. This has just come out earlier today. This is about, almost 4 hours old, this update. So final testnet deployment goes live tonight. So that's Mintra, one of the top 6 and potentially 7 NFT marketplaces. And of course, exciting to see. We're waiting for Mintra to launch, and of course, then Pixel Park from Power City, and then we'll have our top 6. Really, there is a 7th one as well. I just keep forgetting what the name of it is. That's going to be probably pretty decent. But at the moment, this is the next big one and the biggest sacrifice one, right? If I remember rightly, yeah. And so right up there with Pixel Park in the case, but dedicated. This was what it's all about, Mintra, and of course, it is actually a very slick UI, and of course, DeFi in there as well. So very excited about Mintra launching. It's going to be very popular. And of course, this is headlined by, Pulsechain influencer, Hex influencer, Gerardo. So we'll see how that goes. Looks good. All right. Very excited about Mintra coming up. That's going to be good news. So that's kind of fun there. Hex, of course, hex.com. We're going to check out the Hex Daily Stats. Before we do that, though, let's catch up on the chat just briefly and see who else has jumped in here. Well, I've been chatting away about how bullish the ecosystem's looking at the moment, and it's still ramping up. Still ramping up. So let's see who else has jumped in here. Sandy Beach says, I'm dreaming of the bull market. October looks like it's going to be a fun month. It's good to see it line up right that way, right? We've got Blobfish King out there. G'day, Lies. Who else has jumped in here? Cookies and Crypto. Super bullish on Hex and Pulsechain says cookies and Crypto. Absolutely. Check my pulse says, set up my son and his family. Do some traveling as well. Find some warm sandy beaches to chill. Sandy beach, I like that. We did there, no pun intended. Nice one there. Check my pulse. What else we got there? Let's jump through some of those comments. Hexface says health is wealth. It's a 15-minute walk to the bar at the campground. Hey, at least you got the walk in there, right? At least you got the walk in there. That's all that counts. That's pretty funny. And is that the same picture of the bar that you showed us in Discord? Because that was a pretty cool place to have some drinks afterwards. Brennan says, and a 2-hour walk back after the bar. Lol. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Who else there? We got Hexvader. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy, for sure. Yeah, boy. Richard Hart Dance is in the house there. Bullish times, absolutely. Richard Hart Dance. This is the first time I've seen you in the chat. Good to see you in the chat, and I certainly like your Richard Hart picture there with the captain's hat. Very nice. Brennan as well. Woohoo! Mintra, yeah, coming to town. So final test net. So that's good news for Mintra, and it is a very slick setup for Mintra. So looking forward to it. Checking in says Pumpkin L. Thanks, Superman. You're most welcome. Thanks for checking in. We do appreciate it. DeFi Des in the house there. First time tuning into your live dope content. Pulsechain DGN. Nice one, DeFi Des, and thank you for your compliment. Yeah, it is fun times, man. It's fun times. We all get to share in it. And as you guys know, I am documenting on this channel. So we're trying to do our very best to get all the info. So you just come and watch one's live stream, and at least you won't miss anything. Yeah, it's kind of neat. All right. What else are we going to do? Let's get into the final Hex.com. Let's get paid. If you're mining Hex for T-shares, all you have to do is buy Hex, then burn it and get some T-shares, which is like the ownership tokens. And of course, T-shares stands for trillions of shares. And of course, that is in the ownership pool. If you're in the ownership pool, you get to mine Hex, and of course, get your principal Hex back plus any interest there as well. So it's kind of neat for like that. Hex.com, you can buy Hex on Ethereum or on Pulsechain, and of course, there are different prices and different gas prices there. Very cool. Let's get into the daily results. Obviously, we've got day 1398, so the 30th of September on the ETH. This is the Hex numbers on Ethereum. We've got 3500th of a penny is the snapshot there for the price. We've got the payout today. This is the main number that we look at, 6.719 Hex per T-share. So the more T-shares, the better. You're getting 6.719 Hex back for each of them every day there. So that's kind of cool. 29,616, 29,618 is the share rate. No change in that today. And of course, this is going up all the time. You want to get earlier pays better. In other words, get in now because the share rate is going to mean you have to, it costs you more Hex to get one T-share basically. There are two ways of getting more Hex. Longer pays better and bigger pays better. We've got the average mining net there, 7.07 years, 39.53% is the APY for existing T-share miners. Let's have a look at the ownership pool. We've got a decrease of 653 T-shares in the ownership pool. We're now sitting at 9,794,000 T-shares in the ownership pool of Hex on Ethereum. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the lock percentage of coins. 9.34% of all Hex is locked on the old Ethereum side. We had pretty good penalties like we did yesterday, almost 2 million, and that gets added to the reward pool. So remember I said there's an ownership pool with T-shares in it, and there's a reward pool. 65.8 million is in that reward pool today. And of course, that gives about 6.7 Hex per T-share at the moment for every T-share that's in the ownership pool. Looking at the liquid numbers, we're up 3 on the liquid holders. We're down 2 on the miners. So we're sitting at 120,013 miners on the old Ethereum side there. Let's go to the Pulsechain. Of course, these are the results for day 141. Obviously, it says 3098 there, but it's 141. And we've got the 30th of September there. The price, of course, is much higher on the Pulsechain side for Hex. So we're sitting at 8700th of a penny for the old Pulsechain Hex. The payout today, lower than Ethereum, 6.6 Hex per T-share. No change in the share rate there. The average mining length is shorter on Pulsechain, of course. 6.95 years is the average mining length. 38.24% is the APY, so that's lower than Ethereum side slightly, but still extremely good. T-shares there, down 16,000 T-shares in the pool. We're sitting at 9,838,000 T-shares on the old Pulsechain side. Let's jump over to some of the other key metrics. Lock percentage of coins, 9.54% of Hex is locked on the old Pulsechain. Unlike Ethereum, we got pretty modest penalties today, 370,000. The reward pool's got 65 million. So that's that reward pool, 65 million in there today. And not bad, though, at all. Liquid holders up 53. So a real nice move in the liquid holders on the old Pulsechain side. And the T-share miners up 16. So really, really good. Most of the adoption we're seeing with T-shares is happening on the Pulsechain side. With the trend is slowly on the downside on Ethereum, but that may reverse in the future. But has been reasonably extended on the Ethereum side for the time being. We've got 124,250 current miners, and that's pretty good news. Up probably about 4,000 more miners than on the Pulsechain. On the Ethereum side is on Pulsechain, so that's kind of good news there. So that was day 141. We've just started day 1399 for Hex on Ethereum and day 142 for Hex on Pulsechain. So you can buy on either chains. Obviously, they've got different metrics, but they're both great, right? So Ethereum, of course, is the classic. as a Hex Classic, as we might call it, or the original, the alpha, as it were. And of course, Pulsechain there is the Pulsechain fork of Ethereum. So very exciting. All right, that is pretty much the numbers. Hex.com. Check it out, folks. Do your own due diligence. Nothing on this channel is financial advice. If you have any questions, get into our Discord. Links in the video description. And of course, we have a crypto helpline. There's one of our chats there, so you can definitely get into that. Chat number 6, actually, which is pretty cool. All right, man, we went through a lot. I'm even over time. I'm an hour and 20 minutes, but that's how much stuff has been there. And I've made a lot more comments on quite a few things there that people have asked about. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. All right, let's end up here. Let's go back to the chat and wrap up. Let's wrap up the daily live here with Superman on Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain YouTube. We've been rocking it. Brendan says, welcome to the new folks. Absolutely. If you're new to the channel, join our Discord. It's links in the video description. It's about 16 cents a day. And of course, you get access to the amazing community. And of course, early alpha, lots of alpha in there. We're early on everything. And of course, you also get to find all the information tabs. We've got useful links and all sorts of good stuff in there. Really is a great place to be. So get into our Discord. Links in the video description. Pumpkin Al says, Hex stakes are underrated. Get your staking ladder. Yeah, absolutely. Get a staking ladder. I need to do a whole video or something on some Hex stakes and stuff like that. We've definitely got to do that coming up. Sandy Beach says, thank you. I don't know who you're talking to, Sandy, but welcome. Welcome. On behalf of whoever you're talking to, welcome. You're welcome. The poll super says, Brennan. Yes, the poll. Let's get to the poll. Let's get to the poll. It's good that I got moderators in the chat there to remind me of the poll. Bam, 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 bam. Do you feel more bullish about Pulsechain than you did a month ago on Hex Token channel? We got 89% yes, 5% said no, 3% unsure, and maybe 0%. So that's 50 votes. So not a bad poll there. Yeah, I would say that 89%, that feels good to me. And hopefully the other 8% will feel better in October. Maybe we'll do this poll again and halfway through October or the middle of October, something like that. Let's quickly check on Superman Crypto channel and in the poll over there and see what that is. We got 75% said yes, 25% said no. We got 4 votes over there, and of course, nice poll results there. Appreciate you filling that out too as we build up that channel. Elias Beneath says, when Paul Master Super says Elias Beneath. Oh, the one thing I was going to say is that we have got on the 1st of October, we've got pretty much the base perpetual is going to be renewal, right? So remember that. Is it 2nd of October? I think 2nd of October. Yeah, base renewal. So that's coming up in less than a day, maybe a day away. So remember that if you've got a base Hex base perpetual, that is coming up for the weekly renewal. Remember, claim the benefits and all that. Hoot, hoot, pumpkin out. Hoot, hoot. Yeah, absolutely. Now you can find the links to the base perpetual inside chat number 2 on Pulsechain. Actually, chat number 1. It's actually a derivative, so it's in the main chat. So definitely check that out. Sandy Beach says, yeah, the base there, October the 2nd, 00 UTC time. So we'll probably be live at that time, so I'll have to cover that. All right, take care, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. We're an hour and 24 minutes. What a huge show it's been today. I'm 10 minutes over time. That's pretty crazy. Let's play out some cool music on the way out, and of course we'll play the master there. I was going to play the cheeky one, but we'll play the master there. Peace out, everybody. Take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow. A walk day. What did I say? Number 64. Yeah, going from a walk number 64. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in Discord. Bye for now.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all product, Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.